Hey, welcome back to the Crossroad Diecast Speed Shop. And today's build is going to be for the Four Horsemen December 23rd Santa theme build. What we have here today on the turntable is the Hot Wheels Chevy El Camino. I'm going to call it my Chevro-Sleigh because it's for the Four Horsemen Santa build, as I said. And this casting is often referred to as both the 68 and 69. Sometimes it's been going back and forth, but this one on the bottom does say 68 El Camino, so that's what I'm going to call it. And of course, the 68 El Camino from Hot Wheels features this blown engine in the back. Then back in 2007, it was retooled, and so it has this tonneau cover that's on there and stuff. I like that one. That was pretty cool. But for this build, I'm glad it's got the big blower and stuff, because if it's going to be a ride for Santa, it's got to have a big engine in it and stuff like that. Again, I have 4 or 5 of these ones with the big engines in the back, with the blowers like that are in very good condition. This one is really beat up. It was found in a tote of cars that I received from one of my brother-in-laws. Again, this one was retooled, as I said, back in 2007. But this one here is a 2001. This is a 2001, and it's called the Extreme Express. So when I saw that, I said, hey, that could be more fitting for Santa than to have an Extreme Express. He needs something fast, he needs something that goes. So this is the car that we're going to use for our Santa theme build. So let's get this thing taken apart in the shop, and we'll get started with our project. All right, well, we're back in the shop, and we've got this 68 El Camino all torn down. And we'll take a look, see what we've got here. Again, this is really interesting because this has got a 2-piece interior. It's got the yellow seats, and it's got the spoiler or fin or whatever you want to call it, airfoil, whatever on the back here. That's all there. That's kind of a neat idea for a Santa. But then it had this purple part, and so the way it goes is it sets in that like so. And actually, you have to have all this put together. You even have to have the windshield. You can see the windshield. It's pretty grubby. Again, this was definitely a well-loved car in this day, and but it all comes together kind of like that, anyways. But it has to be all together in order to put it into the back, because otherwise it won't stay. Again, the body has only one post, and it hooks in the base hooks into this. It won't be too hard to strip this, I don't think, because it's pretty play worn. You can see all the way along here, so it's going to go, and so it's going to be a good custom. The engine, we'll put that in some super clean, and we'll clean that. We'll dip that in, strip that all down, and then we'll repaint that. And then the base, we're going to get these wheels off here. We got to figure out some good wheels for this, and we'll clean up the base, shine that up, and again, it's a metal base, so that's kind of neat about those cars. So that's kind of what we got so far for our project. So let's move on. We have a lot of exciting builds coming up in the Crossroad Diecast Speed Shop in the coming year. On January 2nd, we have our 2025 year in review, as well as our 1,000 subscriber giveaway. Then on January 17th, we have Jim Silver's Winter in the Wasteland 5 Alien Invasion. And then at the end of January, on the 31st, we have the Four Horsemen Shop Truck build. Be sure to hit the like and subscribe button so you don't miss an episode. Okay, well, we've been moving right along in our Four Horsemen El Camino for our Santa build. I've added these nice 5-spoke Sandmed wheels on there. I cleaned up the base. I used, went over it with a Scotch-Brite wheel. And then also, when I took the wheels out, I had to cut the wheels out because they're PR5s. They're pretty bad anyway. So I took and used after that, I took and used the Dremel cutting wheel, and I just took and widened the channel a little bit to fit these. These are really going really nice. I added some just used some super Gorilla Glue gel, and I put that in there. It works out nice. And as you can see, I cleaned up the base nice with the flits, using a felt buffing wheel and the flits, and so it came out really good. So we're going to keep moving right along with our project. Okay, well, we've been working on our Chevro-Sleigh for the Four Horsemen, our El Camino. I've taken and cleaned up the windshield with some degreaser and some hot water and an old brush. It came out pretty good. I think what we're going to do is dip it into this Pledge Revive. I use a lot of different kinds of things you can use. And then what you do is you just wick away the edges. All the places. It's looking really good. I'm really happy with that. So we'll put it into this. A little bit more you wick away. Try not to touch the glass. I'll put it in there. And I'll cover it. Let it sit for about 24 hours. The other thing I did is I dipped the engine into the Super Clean, and that's come out really good. So we'll rinse that off, and then what we're going to do is we will put some chrome paint onto that and shine that back up the way it was. So we'll move on. Well, here we go. We're still working on our 4 Horsemen Santa theme build. So I've got the Chevro-Sleigh all primed up, and now I'm going to put some white, opaque white, I should say, down on the base coat. And then, and again, when I mix it up, I mix it 4-to-1, 4 parts of the Createx paint to 1 part high gloss UVLS clear, and then I add about 3 pipettes of the reducer just to help it to go better through the airbrush. So we're gonna get this thing into the paint booth and get on with that project. All right, well, we're back, and we've been working on our Dibs holiday build, and we're about ready to put a second coat on it. We've already got the white on here, as you can see. Taped it off. I want to use this pearl green I got from Createx, and I got that. And I mixed it up with, about a 4-to-1 high gloss to the pearl, and then I added about 3 or 4 pipettes to the reducer. So I got that. So it should go through the spray brush pretty good. So we're going to put that on and see what we got. All right, we're back, and we're working on our Diecast Graveyard Santa build, and I got this El Camino, this 68 El Camino, all of the 2-tone that I wanted, the green and the white. And I've got some nice decals that I'm going to put on the side next. It's going to be the next thing I'm going to do. So, but I've just got this out of the dehydrator, so it's still a little hot, so I've got to wait a few minutes. I'm also finding the dehydrator works pretty good as far as getting the car, the paint to dry and being able to move along a little bit faster. So that's been kind of cool to do that. So we're going to let this cool a little bit, then we'll start putting on some decals. All right, well, we're back, and we've been working on our 4 Horsemen Santa's sleigh ride. I call it my Chevro-Sleigh, Santa's Chevro-Sleigh. And again, I got some nice decals on there. So now I'm ready to put the clear coat over all of it. I also, before I finished up with the decals, I put some microsol on it, so it kind of just makes it soften up the decal a little bit, and it fit a little bit better, because those door handles were really kind of tight. I don't know if you can see that too well, but they were really kind of tight when you're putting the decals around it. But I think the rest of it came out pretty good, and so I'm about ready to put everything together here. Again, like I say, I mixed up the hardener. Usually when I do hardener in 2K clear, I use 4 parts of the Diecast Graveyard 2K clear to 1 part hardener. Make sure, as I always tell you, use different pipettes or measuring things. Don't mix them up, because if you do, you're going to end up either causing your hardener to get hard or your 2K clear to get hard. So be sure to do that. Okay, so we're going to get this thing into the spray booth. And one other thing I was going to say, what I did was I put the decals on. I did put it into the dehydrator, so get it dried out really good. So that made it so I can do this a lot quicker. So let's move on. Hey, welcome back to our build here of our Four Horsemen Santa theme build. Again, I got all the parts ready. As you can see, I've detailed up, plus as part of the interior. I've chromed the front. I darkened up the grill. Did a little bit of chrome accents on the side. The engine, I put, because it's going to be green, it's the green and white theme on the car, so I did the top of the blower with the air intakes with green. Same thing with the back of the wing on the back, and cleaned up this glass. If you remember, this came out really well. How dirty it was and everything came out really well. Cleaned up the base, shined that up a little bit, put on these nice 5 spokes from Sam Ed wheels, and got the nice painted white and green. These paints are from Craytex. It's opaque white and then a pearl green on the top. The Santa's Ride is one of the decals that I got from a different set. It wasn't made for the El Camino, but I made it fit for the from Second Chance Red Lines and stuff. So I got those all done. So we're going to put this thing together.
A few moments later.
Okay, before we unveil my Santa theme build, let's remember what it looked like when we began. And here's my Four Horsemen Santa theme build. I call it my Chevro-Sleigh. The paint is Craytex white with pearl green, and it was topped with 2 coats of Diecast Graveyards 2K Clear. I added 5-spoke wheels from Sam Ed wheels, and the decals are from Second Chance Red Lines. You know, the 68 Chevy El Camino is a 3rd-generation vehicle known for blending a muscle car style with pickup's utility. It was available with various engines all the way from the standard 6-cylinder all the way up to the SS396 option, which had 325 horsepower. The body, again, as I said, was a 3rd generation. It featured a redesigned exterior based on the Chevelle. It also had a longer wheelbase. It was marketed as both a practical work vehicle and a sporty muscle car. The engine options, as I said, was all the way from a 6-cylinder, 230 cubic inch, 140 horsepower engine to a 307 V8, a 327 V8, the 350, and also the 396, which I mentioned before. Transmissions that came with it were 3-speed manual, a 4-speed manual, a 2-speed power glide automatic, as well as the 3-speed turbo hydromatic automatic also were available. When it comes to the SS396, which is what this car is modeled after, it was equipped with a heavy-duty F41 suspension and a larger front sway bar. The El Camino's interior included a heavily padded instrument panel for safety with easy-to-read gauges. And when it came to the SS396, a lot of them came with bucket seats in the center console rather than a bench seat. Again, the bed was reinforced with double sidewalls and steel floor capable of carrying a payload of somewhere around 1,500 pounds and objects over 6 feet long. Well, I had a lot of fun with this, and I hope you had enjoyed watching it. On behalf of my teammates Paul at Diecast Graveyard, Andrew at Maple Leaf Customs, Tom at Spork Syndicate, and myself, I want to thank Santa Slow Dog for being our guest horseman this month. And I also want to take this opportunity to invite you to be a part of our monthly builds. Next year's schedule is already up on the Four Horsemen YouTube channel, so be sure to check that out. And then, again, you don't need to have a social media presence. All you need to do is send a glamour shot of your build on a white background on the due date of the build. And those are seen there on the schedule as well. And you can send that to fourhorsemendiecast@gmail.com, and we'll include you in our monthly recap video. Again, Christmas is coming up. Hope you all are looking forward to that. I know I am. To all my subscribers and viewers, I appreciate you so much. God bless, and thanks for stopping by the shop.